Hey guys, it's Troy coming at you with another video from London town. It's good to sometimes go to high-end places and spend a bit of time there, and it's good for a number of reasons, okay? And I'm going to get into this in this video today. So, firstly, we want to be aspirational, okay? Ideally, we want to be aspirational. We want to aspire to the good things in life, or the better things in life. Now, depending on where you fall on the socioeconomic scale, maybe you already go to 5-star hotels, or you go to 7-star hotels in Dubai and you drink from, you know, gold-plated cups or whatever. And if so, fine. But if you don't, if you're not part of that world, you want to at least feel comfortable inhabiting it, at least walking into it and being part of the scene, okay? You don't want to feel uncomfortable. What's the reason for this? Well, there's a couple of reasons for this. The first one is very simple manifestation, really. You know, if you want to achieve success, if you want to achieve wealth, then it's good to go and smell the leather, okay? That is to say, if you want a really expensive car, instead of just dreaming about it or just thinking about it abstractly, go and actually take a test drive, go and actually sit in that car, right? Sit in the seat, smell the leather, okay? Really inhabit it, okay? Because it's only those things that we can picture, we can imagine, that we're able to achieve. So, and it's the same thing with you know, with wealth or with success, right? You've got to be able to envisage it, okay? And the best way to envisage it is not in this sort of abstract, imaginary way. It's by actually going to the places where wealthy people spend time, observing them, looking at what they do, how they conduct themselves, how they talk, the gestures they make, their body language, and everything else, and seeing if any of that inspires you, right? Seeing if any of that can kind of rub off on you, okay? So that's the first thing, and that's more on the lifestyle side of things, okay? Very, very important. The second thing, though, is that I think it's really important for guys when they're looking to improve their dating prospects. I mean, you're probably looking for a quote-unquote high-quality woman, right? So, firstly, where are you going to find her? Well, you're more likely to find her in one of these more high-quality environments, I would suggest. So that's the first thing. But secondly, even if you're not there in order to socialize, in order to meet women, I mean, you should be there to socialize, right? You should do a bit of socializing every day in order to keep the social muscle exercised. But even if that's not your primary goal for being there, you want to at least ensure that you are comfortable in those environments, because as you go on with your journey, the likelihood is you are going to meet women who will want to spend at least some time in those kinds of environments. And I think the really important thing is you don't want to look like a rube. Okay, so that's an old-fashioned word. It means you don't want to look naive, okay? You don't want to look like somebody who is suddenly on foreign ground and he's unsure of himself, okay? You want to be as comfortable walking into the bar at the Ritz and ordering a cocktail as you are walking into a low-end pub and ordering a pint of beer, okay? There should be no difference in your demeanor, all right? There should be no difference at all in your demeanor, regardless of where you are. Now, some of these environments, and I include things like high-end stores, as well as restaurants, as well as nightclubs, as well as you know, high-end bars and lounges and hotels, right? These venues are often deliberately set up to be somewhat intimidating, okay? And there's a reason for that, right? They want to exude an air of exclusivity, okay? And they want to repel people who are not familiar, you know, who are not comfortable in that environment, okay? And they want to attract those people who are. And for that reason, it's really worth going to these places and engaging with the people that you meet there, and just soaking in the environment. Even if you don't do that, just soaking in the environment and observing. Really worth doing, because it's only by exposing yourself, not literally, but exposing yourself to these different environments that you're going to become comfortable in spending time in them, okay? And that in itself is then going to have a multiplier effect on your social poise, okay? Because if you know, you're okay going to Nando's with a girl on date one, or going to, you know, a fried chicken place or something like that. But if she suggests, or, you know, if the suggestion comes up, oh, let's go to a really high-end bar, and then you walk into that environment and you seem to be nervous, you seem not able to conduct yourself properly in that environment, she's going to notice that, okay? She's going to notice that, and that's not going to reflect well on you. So the way to get around that is by actively seeking out these places and spending a bit of time there, okay? Not hard to do, right? Not hard to do. You could easily go to a high-end hotel bar and sit there and have a cup of tea and watch the world go by, okay? You could easily go to a high-end hotel lounge and sit there and have a drink and watch the world go by, okay? And these are also, by the way, really, really great venues for dates, okay? These are really great places to take dates because, I mean, ideally, you don't want to just be going down. In England, we talk about the local pub, you know, the Dog and Duck, an old-fashioned boozer, right? Or a Wetherspoons pub. In America, you have a sort of equivalent, and in Europe as well. You don't really want to be doing that on dates, right? We want to be aspirational, okay? We want to be inviting the woman into our world, and our world should ideally be suitably glamorous and have a sense of occasion and mystique about it, okay? You want to be taking her to cool, interesting places, but in order to do that, you've got to be comfortable in those cool and interesting places, and you've also got to know where they are as well. And sometimes, I mean, in a big city like London, there's a lot of places, okay? There's a lot of different places, really cool cocktail bars, hidden little gems, hotel bars, and then sort of hidden hotel bars and things like this, right? It takes a bit of time to find them and to know about them and then to visit them so that you know the lay of the land. And the more that you do that, the more comfortable you're going to be. And then you can take that with you when you go abroad, right? If you can walk into a Four Seasons hotel in London and go to the bar and order a cocktail and feel absolutely comfortable there, you can do it anywhere else in the world, okay? So this is really valuable. Now, what people are going to say, check the comments, right? Because what people are going to say without a shadow of a doubt about this is that, oh, well, you know, you're leading with money, you're trying to impress women or impress other people through wealth, you don't want to attract gold diggers, blah, 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 blah. Okay, it's a pretty boring argument, to be completely honest. It's a pretty boring argument. I like to go to places that I want to go to, okay? I don't even drink, right? So going to the Dog and Duck or going to a local pub or going to a Wetherspoons or something, it just doesn't interest me. The utility from that for me is zero, okay? Because the atmosphere is crap, the aesthetic is crap, you know, the people are often not particularly interesting or magnetic or mysterious. I mean, usually the opposite. The whole thing is very, very, it's not my scene, okay? It's not my vibe. So if I am going to go somewhere for drinks, and for me that happens to be non-alcoholic drinks, but whatever, if I am going to go somewhere and spend time, for me, I would prefer it to be a nice, aesthetically pleasing place. These are the kinds of places that I spend most of my time. Like yesterday, we went to the Mandarin Oriental and we went for a cup of tea there. Today, I'm at my private members club doing some work in Kensington, okay? What else? Recently, I went for tea at the Four Seasons in Prague. I mean, there's just so many of these places, okay? And it's just really nice to spend time there. And like I said, you get two benefits from this. Well, you get multiple benefits, but the two key benefits are, firstly, putting yourself into environments that are aspirational, okay? So that you can level yourself up, so that you can watch the other people there and look at how they act, and also just realize what's possible, okay? Because I'm sitting in the private members club, right? And I'm sitting next to a club promoter, and then over from me are two, you know, Russian oligarchs' daughters, and then there's, I don't know, whoever else, right? And you realize that they're just ordinary people, okay? You realize they're just ordinary people like you. And if they can achieve a certain level of success, or they can achieve a certain status, then you can do that as well, okay? The second thing is, you just become more comfortable inhabiting those environments, right? Because you realize, okay, these are just ordinary people, really. I'm a person as well. I have a right to be here as much as they do. And it comes through in your behavior, in the way that you conduct yourself, okay? So, again, it probably sounds incredibly superficial, and there are probably still people like gnashing at their their fingernails, going crazy, going, no, this is all about your, money and leading with money. It's not really that. It's about aesthetics, okay? It's about your aesthetic taste and where you want to spend time, all right? And I would argue, I would posit that it's more interesting for a young woman that you want to date to go to cool places, right? And cool places often mean money, they often mean opulence, they often mean decadence, right? People want that Instagram kind of lifestyle. Now again, the haters are going to be like, no, they're all shallow, I don't want to spend time with women like that. Well, fine, okay, that's up to you. But the truth of the matter is that you're going to be cutting yourself off from the cream of the crop if you take that attitude. So, in my view, okay, and it's only my view, there are multiple benefits from spending time in high-end places and just getting used to them, right? And also it's fun, it's enjoyable. You see some really interesting mixture of people, okay? Now, I also sometimes, counter to all of this, I also quite like going to low-end places as well, because I quite like that slightly seedy, dangerous side of life also. And that can be fun too. But I think you have to balance it out. And I would say if you're gonna lay the weight of that balance on one side, it should probably be on the high-end places for the reasons that I've said. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Do please give me a comment below, let me know what you think about this, give me a like, subscribe to the channel of course, subscribe to my Substack, the link is below, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye.